Welcome to Michi Cakes. Today I'm going to be making Momofuku Milk Bar's birthday cake recipe. And I've tried a lot of confetti recipes, but this is one I haven't tried, so I'm super excited to see how it turns out and see how it compares to the other recipes that I've tried. So the first thing I'm going to do is make some cake flour. And I don't know about you, but I never have cake flour on hand. And I never also buy cake flour just from the grocery store. So, and I'm sure many of you guys already know, but to make cake flour, you can just use all-purpose flour, take out 2 tablespoons of the all-purpose flour and replace that with cornstarch. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. One thing that you have to do with when you make cake flour is that you have to sift it really well. So I think I'm actually gonna make, I'm gonna make 2 cups of this. Want the cornstarch and the flour to be fully incorporated with each other. Now we want to do ½ teaspoon of baking powder. And also ½ teaspoon of salt. Okay, and then we'll just whisk that all together. Okay, now in this bowl we're gonna combine the wet ingredients. So we have ½ a cup of buttermilk, and that is definitely not enough. Good thing I have a backup. Yeah. Okay, so we have ½ a cup of milk here. And the Momofuku recipe calls for grapeseed oil, but I honestly don't have that on hand, so I'm going to be just using regular vegetable oil. So 1/3 cup of oil. And then another thing that they're very adamant about in the recipe is using clear imitation vanilla. And I have Wilton brand clear imitation vanilla here, 2 teaspoons of this. And I know that some people are very against using clear vanilla, but I think it has its time and place. I mean, obviously I love real vanilla, but you know, I think it can give that birthday cake flavor, so I'm all about it. And I'm gonna grab another bowl where I'm gonna combine the butter and sugar. So we have 3 tablespoons of butter. Hey Google, what's 14 times 4?
The answer is 56.
Thanks, Google. So this is 55 grams, and I am gonna be completely okay with that. Regular dark brown sugar, so I'm just gonna hopefully make that work. I can't find my hand blender. I used it the other day, and it's not where I usually put it. I bet it's somewhere really random. Going crazy. So I put this on my chair in the kitchen a couple days ago after I baked a pie, and specifically yesterday I remember thinking, why is there an iron on the chair, on the kitchen stool? And then I wrapped it up and I put it on top of the laundry, on top of the washing machine, because that's where the iron usually goes. And I was thinking, who ironed? Because Kevin didn't iron, or he doesn't iron in general. I don't iron. I don't even know why we have an iron, but I thought this hand mixer was an iron and I put it on top of the washing machine. Okay, I'm like seriously losing my mind. Although, it was after I went out and had a few drinks, so I guess that's why. Whew, okay, anyways, this is not an iron. This is a hand mixer. Timmy's watching me from the bedroom. He's so cute. now I'm going to slowly add the dry ingredients. Okay, so I have a pan that's been sprayed and lined so that the batter doesn't stick to it, and then I'll pour it in here. Love this part. So I'm actually using a bigger pan than what Momofuku uses. So I'm going to, it's going to be a little bit thinner, and will probably take less time. So we'll see how it turns out. Hey Google, set timer for 10 minutes.
Sure, 10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so while the cake is cooling, I'm making the cake crumbs with cake flour and granulated sugar. And I'm just going to level that out. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then 2 tablespoons of rainbow sprinkles. And here I'm using confetti quins because those are my favorite sprinkles. Then I'm going to add half teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Then for the wet ingredients, I'm adding 1/4 cup of oil. Here I'm using just plain canola oil and 1 tablespoon of the clear vanilla extract. And then I'm going to use my hands to break up the crumbs and mix them all up together. And some pieces I'm going to keep big, while other pieces I'm going to keep them small. And you just kind of want to pinch them to clump them together. And then I'm just going to spread it out and bake this at 300 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. Then I'm going to make the frosting. I'm going to start with 1 stick of butter, 2 ounces of cream cheese, and 1/4 cup of shortening. I'm just going to mix that up, and I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of corn syrup and a tablespoon of the clear vanilla extract. And when you whip it, it's just going to turn really white, and then you're going to add 1 1/4 cups of powdered sugar. And you're just going to blend it really well. And here I'm making the milk soak, and it's just a mixture of 1/4 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk here, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And I'm using real vanilla here because I just kind of got sick of the clear vanilla. And now I'm using my 8-inch round cutter to make circles out of my cake. And so I'm making 2 full circles and then 2 halves to make 3 layers. And the recipe from Momofuku actually calls for a 6-inch cake or a 6-inch cutter. So this is going to be a little bit bigger than the Momofuku one. So here I have a 8-inch cake board and then the 8-inch cutter. And then I have acetate that I've cut to 8 inches. And then I've taped it together. And now I'm layering it cake, milk soak, frosting, and the milk crumbs. So I just kept repeating that process until I got 3 layers of cake. So I did cake, milk soak, frosting, then crumbs. And I'm just going to take this time to tell you what I thought about this recipe. Honestly, the best part about the recipe was the cake itself, which is the most important part. I did not like the crumbs. I thought it was way too rich and just unnecessary. I do like the crunchy aspect of it, but in terms of how sweet and rich it was just a little bit too overwhelming. As well as the frosting, it was too sweet for my taste. But if you don't mind extremely sweet things, then I think you'll be all over the milk crumbs and the frosting. But next time, I think I'm just going to stick with the actual cake recipe and use my own frosting. So there it is, the Momofuku Milk Bar birthday cake recipe. Thanks so much for watching Michi Cakes, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!